Hi, I'm Kate. I'm a sports therapist, but I specialize in pregnancy and postpartum exercise. I'm here today with my final video of this series, which is a third trimester workout video. I've not made it too strenuous because I know how it feels to be in the third trimester. I'm currently 34 weeks pregnant now with my second child. I'll explain the course of the class and then we'll get cracking. So we're going to start with some exercises that were really helpful for progressing my labour. It's not going to send you into labour, but they're just really helpful exercises to have in your toolkit when you're getting close, and we'll use those as part of the warm-up. And then working on an all-round approach for our bodies and our conditioning for the final stages of our pregnancy, and then finishing with some labour prep, some meditation, and some deep stretches. This class is designed for low-risk pregnancies. If you're ever unsure, always consult your midwife and your doctor first before taking any new exercise class. Let's quickly talk about the breathing pattern we're going to use for the exercises in this class. It's going to be really helpful for you, but also just to wake up your pelvic floor a little bit. Waking up your pelvic floor is essential in this stage of pregnancy too, because it's when the most weight is going to be bearing down. You do need to work on relaxing your pelvic floor, which we will focus on in the class. But the stronger you go into your labour with your pelvic floor, the better the recovery. So that's one of my real focuses for you today. So here is the breathwork pattern that we'll be following today. When we are doing the hard part of the exercise, for example, a squat, we'll be doing the breath out on the hardest part, which is the way up. So we would breathe in for the way down and out for the way up. Okay, so just remember, for the hardest part of the movement, that is when we'll be doing the breath out. The reason being, the breath out is going to engage your pelvic floor and create a stronger abdominal core contraction. When you're breathing in, let's think about letting the ribs expand as much as they possibly can, the diaphragm and the pelvic floor lowering. And then when we breathe out, we lift from the pelvic floor, we lift with the diaphragm too. We slightly depress the ribs if you're still able to, and it makes a stronger contraction for the core. So let's get warmed up. We're going to start with some good mornings. So we're going to have our feet just a little bit wider than shoulder width, our hands on the side of our abs. We're going to do a big breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to engage the core, lifting from the pelvic floor first, hinge from the hips. We want to get to 90 degrees and then lift back up. If you're feeling this in the back of your legs, you can soften your knees. We'll go for 5. That's 3 more. Last one. From here, we're going to stagger our feet and turn them to face one direction. The harder option, you can take your arms over your head, but if it's enough just keeping your hands by your side on your abs, that's absolutely cool with me. We're going to do 5 good mornings over each leg. 1, 2, remember to put the hands by the side if you need to. 3, 4, last one, 5. Change your feet so they're facing the other way, but you also want to stagger them so you're not stood on a straight line and you've got a wide base of support. Either arms up or arms here. We go for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, 1. Okay, I'm going to move on to single leg deadlifts. Not everyone at this stage of their pregnancy will feel comfortable standing on one leg. This is all to do with pubis pain. If you have pain in your pubis or pain in your SI joint, standing on one leg is likely to aggravate it. So just bear that in mind for the rest of the class. You don't have to do all the exercises if they aggravate your symptoms. This is the exercise if you haven't got pubis pain today. So you find your balance on one leg, and you take your opposite hand, you hinge from the hip, you reach for the floor. If that is too much, try and keep this leg down, but have most of the weight in the standing leg. If that is too much, just do 5 more good mornings to replace this exercise. You can also do good mornings and an overhead press if you want to progress it. Okay, I'm going to do 3 deadlifts on each side. If you want to hold a small weight in the opposite hand to the foot you're balancing on, you're welcome to. So make sure you have got good balance and you're clear of obstacles. So we're hinging from the hip and we're touching the floor for 1, 2 more, 2, 3. Change legs, even if you're doing the staggered version. And opposite hand's going to reach for the floor for 3, 2. Soft knee bend in the standing leg. And 1. Okay, moving on to squats. So as you're pregnant, you'll need to move your legs wider than you usually would a first squat. So a comfortable distance for you and your bump to fit in between. And we're going to go for 10 squats. I'm going to try and explain why I like squats in late stage pregnancy for you as well. So we breathe in for the way down, out for the way up. As low as feels comfortable at this stage of your pregnancy. So I like squats because they were a tool I used to help progress my first labor. My waters broke in the very early hours of the morning, but I wasn't dilating and my contractions weren't super consistent yet. So I spent most of the day doing squats and lunges, and just that downward movement and the uneven movement of the lunges helped the labor progress perfectly. So squats are excellent in the final trimester of your pregnancy, and so are lunges. Breathing out on the way up, remember. Let's turn to do 10 lunges each side. We'll just do split lunges with our glutes engaged. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change legs. So I'm not usually the biggest fan of lunges, but just that alternating lift of each side of the pelvis is really, really helpful for getting the baby's head to engage. 4 more. Okay, have a little breather. As we breathe, keep your legs wide and we'll just do a gentle pelvic floor lift and hold. Big breath in. Big breath out, lift and hold. 3 more deep breaths with a light pelvic floor engagement. 2 more. Last one. And then we do 10 wide leg squats. Relax your pelvic floor just before we go. So if 10 doesn't feel good for your body, regress to however many number feels good for you. I don't mind if you do between 5 and 10. Just listen to your body for this one. When you're ready, we'll go down. 1. Breathing in for the way down, out for the way up. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. We're going to take a little relax in a deep squat position now. So put your feet more in parallel. Go down as low as feels comfortable and just allow your pelvic floor to completely relax. We're not necessarily bearing down or pushing with it. We're just giving it a breather, taking a few deep breaths. And in whatever fashion you can, stand up. And then we're going to do 10 split lunges. So we're going to step into these ones this time. Find your balance, step, push back. If that's too much on your pubis, stick with split lunges or have a little break here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, team. So we're going to attempt another single leg exercise, but it's very shallow. So just test the water with one, see how it feels. Even though pregnant ladies tend to get pubis pain towards the end, and this is aggravated by single leg standing activities, it's really important to keep your adductors strong. They're part of your pelvic floor where they insert, but also it's really important to have a stable pelvis, strong adductors, strong glutes, strong core, strong side of your bum as well. So I don't want to neglect them even in the final trimester. So stand on a smooth bit of floor, bend one leg, slide the other leg out, and just squeeze the thighs in towards each other to draw the legs back together. If you find it's painful to go super wide, don't go super wide. Keep it really, really small. We're going to try and do 5 on each leg. It looks like a single leg squat and a heel slide. And then change legs. 5 on the other side. Breathing out as you slide the legs in. One more. And take a well-deserved rest. Try and regain deep breathing again just before you move on to the next bit. So big 360 breath, letting your ribs expand in each direction. And then lifting the pelvic floor and the diaphragm lightly. Diaphragm lowers on the breath in and lifts on the breath out. There's no way your belly won't be involved in your breath right now because of your changing posture, but try and get as much rib movement as you can. One more deep breath. Then let's continue with the rest of the class. This next exercise is a really great one because it targets multiple areas that will help keep you strong through this final trimester. So we're going to go into a forearm side plank position, but we're going to keep the knees down. And we're going to try and lift between 8 and 10, depending on how your body feels with these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now for the next 5, we're going to try and engage the top glute as well. So we're going to open the legs and we're going to lift for 5, 4, 3. If you want to make it harder, you can straighten this leg. 2, 1, and hold. And come down with control. Swivel your legs over to the other side, and we repeat the same sequence, but on the second side. So our knees, they want to be in line with our elbow rather than forwards. And you want your elbow to be underneath your shoulder. We're going to lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we engage the top glute. We lift either straight or bent, whatever feels good for your body. And we do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And come down slowly. For the next exercise, we will need either a pillow or a Pilates ball, just something squishy that we can pop in between our knees to engage our adductors. It's the same exercise again, but this time with adductor engagement, which means groin engagement. So we're going to squeeze the ball or squeeze the pillow if you don't have a ball, and we're going to lift for 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, keep squeezing the ball or cushion, 3, 2, 1, change sides, 8 lifts, engaging the adductors as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just stretch off your obliques. We're going to do this either by doing a really small side bend here, or if you need a little bit more, you prop yourself up on the arm. Now this one is really easy to fall backwards on, so please be careful. You want to take your ear towards your toes as well. And just breathe into that side. Change sides. So remember, if you need less, you can go down to the forearm. Be careful not to lose balance and fall over. Breathing into the side. And come out slowly. Before we move on to the next exercise, interlace your fingers and give your wrists a circle. Change direction. And then hands on the floor on all fours and circle your shoulders over your wrists. Change direction. Okay, providing your wrists feel okay with this amount of body weight on them, we're going to grab our Pilates ball or our cushion again. On our position on all fours, we're going to pop the ball between the knees. We're going to tuck the toes under. Big breath in. Big breath out. Lift the pelvic floor. Lift the core. Lift the ball and hold. Keep squeezing. And down. Have a little rest, and then we'll go for a second repetition. Whilst we're resting, I'll explain why endurance holds are so important. So everyone will say to you that labor is like a marathon. This is why we're doing endurance exercises. It is sometimes, and sometimes you labor in the same position for quite a long time. And it's tiring on the hips and the core and everything else involved. So I do love to put some endurance training in, so some long hold positions towards the final trimester for this reason. Tuck your toes, second set, big breath in, big breath out, pelvic floor engages the core, squeeze the ball, push through the shoulders. Keep squeezing the ball or cushion. And come down. We're then going to move on to my all-time favorite pregnancy exercise, which is Superman. So we'll do 5 lifts, 5 touches, have a break, and then do some endurance holds. So you're going to extend opposite leg and opposite arm. I don't want to see your back changing position at all. I want to see it stay in neutral the whole time. Make sure you always push through your shoulder and your hip down into the floor, and that you've got a good base of support and you're not narrow. And then lift opposite arm, opposite leg, just to a straight line for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do 3 touches. So you're going to take opposite knee to opposite elbow, keeping the pelvis and the spine as stable as we can. You shouldn't change position for this exercise. And extend. So just into a straight line, no back extension. 2, 3, 4. Down with control. Knee and hand underneath you, change sides. Extend opposite leg, opposite arm, and lift for 5. Core stays engaged, spine stays in neutral. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then those touches, everything stays controlled, minimal movement. 1, 2, 3, and down with control. We're going to have a little rest and a little relax of the pelvic floor. Open your legs nice and wide. Bow your head down and just take a few deep breaths into the pelvic floor. All right, team, back onto all fours. Let's go for those endurance holds now. Opposite arm, opposite leg, and let's lift and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change sides, opposite arm, opposite leg. lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then out on the diagonal. So I'll turn a little bit for this one so you can see. From your straight position, take the arm out to the side and replicate the angle with the leg and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change. Extend into a straight line. Take it out on the diagonal. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in. This next one's got 2 levels. You can either do this with a bent leg or a straight leg. Depends on what feels better for your body at this stage of your pregnancy. I'm going to go for bent leg today. I'm going to hold 10 seconds each side. Big breath in. Big breath out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change sides. 10, 9, 8. Keep pushing through those shoulders. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross one leg in front of the other and just take a little sit back. And change. Great job. Let's move on. At this stage of your pregnancy, in order to lay on your back, you'll probably need to be in a reclined position. You'll know if you're compressing your blood supply because you'll feel faint and dizzy. Compressing your blood supply will directly affect the baby, and that's why this advice is to be slightly raised with the head and the torso whilst you're working out on your back. So we're going to do dead bugs first. We're just going to start with toe taps. So we're going to do a big breath in, big breath out. Lift the legs so the knees are in line with the hips. Lift the arms, try and keep the ribs exactly still, and lower one leg and then the other. We're going to try and go for 10 in total. If you need to reset your core at any point, you can. Last 4. And come down with control. Take a few deep breaths. If you need to roll onto your side, if you're feeling any symptoms at all, you could please go for it. And then if you feel up for it, we're going to progress to dead bugs. So for dead bugs, we open opposite shoulder and opposite hip at the same time. Big breath in, big breath out. Float the legs. Extend opposite hip, opposite shoulder. Let's try and go for 10 again. If you need to reset the core at any point, you can. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done, team, and relax. So next we're going to be moving on to bridging. We're going to do marches in our bridges. It's really important to keep the glutes strong throughout the pregnancy. The changes in your posture make your glutes want to switch off and weaken. Weak glutes just leads to SI joint pain and back pain during pregnancy. So it's really important to keep them strong. We will get rid of the pregnancy wedge, but I want you to really keep an eye out for symptoms, any sickness or any dizziness. You need to roll onto your side and have a break. In general, as long as you're moving, it's okay to lay on your back whilst you're pregnant. And we're just going to do one set of these. So laying on your back, you're going to lift a bridge, big breath in, big breath out. Legs are going to be together for this one. And you're going to march from one leg to the other. If that is too difficult or you're getting any pregnancy related pain, just lift and hold. Treat it like an endurance hold. So the hip bones, if you are marching, they want to stay level the whole time. So your glutes are really engaging. Your core is engaging. You're not arching your back. You're just trying to keep it in neutral. So the glutes are the primary movers. Last two. And down. The more you progress in your pregnancy, the more you'll be advised to stay off of your back, especially when you're sleeping. So this means going into side lying to do glute work is a really, really good way to get around this. So here, if your head is uncomfortable, please prop a pillow underneath yourself. And we're going to bend our knees so they're in line with our hips and straighten our top leg. So from here, we're just going to squeeze the bum and extend the hip. I'm going to show you a different angle so that we're on the same wavelength. So we go from neutral to extended, and that's my hip and my glutes doing this rather than my back extending. I'd like you to go for 10 in your own time. Breathing out as you're going into hip extension. And then changing legs. And 10 hip extensions. Five, halfway there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Have a little rest. So the key to preventing back pain is the glutes mainly. Strong, stable glutes will keep your pelvis stable. Your pelvis attaches to your lower back, and that's how they're closely interconnected. It's not just the back of your glute max, it's also the side of your glutes you need to strengthen, and that's what we're focusing on in this next section. So when you're ready, we keep in the same position, knees in line with the hips. We take the leg, so we're in a one big straight line, and these are called swings, but there's not much swinging involved. You're going to bring the leg forwards, keeping it in a straight line with the hip, so not letting it drop lower towards the floor. And then taking it into a small bit of extension, with the core staying engaged the whole time, and the leg staying level. I'm also thinking about lifting my obliques on the underside away from the floor. So that's 2, 3, 4, last one, 5, and then just let your leg relax down. Take a few deep breaths and just try and switch off the side of the glutes as you breathe in. Relax as you breathe out. And change sides. Remember, if you understand the exercise, you can just roll over if that's more comfortable for your pregnancy. Knees in line with the hips, leg swings for 5. Keep lifting the bottom obliques. 4, 3, 2. Keep lifting those obliques on the underside. 1. Great. And relax the leg down. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe into the side of the glute. And then on the breath out, focus on releasing it. 2 more. Okay, to save you from rolling over again, we're going to do the next sequence, still working this top glute. So we're going to draw 3 circles each direction, but your circles have to be relative. So you can only go as far forwards as you can backwards. Let's go a little bit forwards. And then try and match that backwards, keeping your core engaged the whole time and your obliques lifted. 2. 1 more. 3. Reverse the direction of the circle. 1. 2. 3. And change sides now. Knees in line with the hips, straighten the top leg. 3 circles that are relative forwards and then backwards. So you might feel more tired on the second set. It's because even though we're predominantly working the top hip, the bottom hip is also pushing into the floor. So you will be working your glutes on the bottom side too. Change direction, pelvis stable, core engaged the whole time, obliques lifted. 1, 2, 3, and rest. The next section of this exercise video is all focused on mobility and relaxation. So you've done the hard work and now we just move on to labour prep mobility, helping prepare your pelvis for birth, and then a relaxation to finish with. Moving on to mobility for your final trimester of your pregnancy. These are going to be frog rock backs, and then we're going to change them to internal rotation rock backs. So you want to open your knees in line with your hips, and you want to rock forwards and backwards. We'll do 5 of these. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that was an externally rotated position. Now the key to widening your pelvis for labor is actually internal rotation. So I want you to put your knees down and take your feet to the outside of them and rock back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then one more of each. So frog, knees out, feet in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Internal rotation rock backs. 1. I'll give you a side angle of this too. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now coming into a position where one leg is bent and the other one is straight. And we're going to do 5 rock backs each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change legs. I'm going to rotate so you can see a different angle for these as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. You will need a yoga block for this exercise or a raised stable surface. You're going to put one knee on the yoga block and you're going to try and lift your opposite knee off the ground. I'll give you another angle so you can see from the front. Lift and lower. We will do 10 of these on each side. It's that perfect uneven pelvis position that helps prepare your pelvis for labor. So 10 in your own time, and then we're going to swap. And this exercise has a triple bonus because not only does it use that uneven movement of the pelvis, but it also helps prevent back pain because it works your deep hip flexors and it also works your core. Breathing out as you're lifting. And change legs and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take the block out and have a little rest. Still focusing on hip rotation. We're going to sit on our bum and take our feet wider than our hips. And we're going to internally rotate one leg and externally rotate the other leg. Our hands are just propping us up behind us. And change. Internal rotation one leg, external the other. Let's do 6 of these. That's 2, 3, 4. You might be moving forward on your mat with this one. That's quite normal. 5, 6. And then we do a no-handed version, which is a bit more active. The legs aren't super wide. You internally rotate one leg as you still remain to face the screen. Externally rotate the other leg. Then when you can't go anymore, turn to face it. Hinge forwards and come back. Lift the back leg first, face the center, internally rotate, externally rotate, and hinge. Then we do one more each side as long as they feel good. Internal rotation, turn, lean, lift, change. Okay, having one more little rest. For this exercise, we're going to externally rotate one leg and take it wide, and we're just going to lean towards that leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I know this exercise can be uncomfortable on the back knee. Feel free to put a knee pad, a pillow, double up your mat at that area, whatever you need to make it comfortable for your back knee. 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. Great job. Now let's move on to glute stretches and meditation. So I'm going to give you a series of glute stretches now, and I'm going to try and put a meditative approach on it. So first one, feet down, bum up, cross one leg over, sit the bum down. Now if you can't feel anything here, just walk your hands a little bit closer. I want you to take 3 deep breaths and close your eyes. When you breathe in, imagine that that breath is going directly into the side of your glutes. And when you breathe out, you're allowing all that tension to release. And again. Change legs when you're ready. We don't want our glutes to be too tight when labor is near, because we need our hips to be nice and mobile. And when you're ready, 3 breaths, same thing, breathing into the side of the glutes and releasing. Directly directing that breath in to your glutes and releasing them. Okay, feet down. You're going to cross one leg over the bottom of the thigh. Give it a gentle push and hinge forward from the hips without rounding your back too much. When you're ready, big breath in. Big breath out and lean forwards. Hold for 3 breaths. Only go as far forward as your bump will allow. Coming up slowly, changing legs. Big breath in. Big breath out, fold forwards as much as you can, as much as your bump will allow you to. And breathe into the glutes and relax them off as you breathe out. 2 more breaths. All right, team, and then the same in butterfly pose. So trying to keep a long spine, not letting it round. You push your knees out to the side, you breathe in, you fold forwards. This time I really want you to think about breathing into the side of the hips and the lower back, particularly the SI joint. Breathing in allowing those areas to expand. Breathing out and relaxing them. 2 more. Breathing in, expanding. Breathing out and relaxing. 1 more. Okay, coming up for a pigeon pose sequence. So for this one, I like to try and keep my knee and my foot in line. So it does make the pigeon pose a bit more intense rather than bringing your foot towards your crotch. But see how you get on, see how you feel with your level of flexibility. So bring my opposite foot to my opposite hand, and then I'm going to try and bend my same knee to my same hand for 3, 2, last one, 1, and then I'm going to slide lower into my pigeon pose. And I'm going to fold my torso forwards for 3, 2, 1, and hold for 2 deep breaths. Trying to release the glutes with the breath out. Coming up slowly and doing the same stretch but on the other side. So it's a kneeling start, opposite foot to opposite hand, 2 lowers, and then 3 chest lowers. Hold for 2 breaths. And come out slowly. Let's find an opportunity to regain our deep breathing. Feel free to put a pillow underneath your head if you want to. In this deep breathing, I want you to really focus on your side rib expansion. So your ribs are going up towards the ceiling this way and down in towards the floor that way. So big breath in, eyes closed, and allow your ribs to expand to the mat and the ceiling. And breathe out. Two more of these. Trying to get a deeper breath every breath in, with more and more rib movement. Roll over, do the same on the other side. And this is a really good tip for changing position in bed. When you roll over, squeeze your bum. It will really change how you feel, I promise. Try and do that at night time too. And side rib expansion into the floor, in towards the ceiling for 3 breaths. And we're just focusing on relaxing the pelvic floor. So no natural pelvic floor lift with these. Okay, coming into our final position of the class. So this is purely going to be an SI joint lower back and pelvic floor release. You're going to go into a small angry cat. You're going to lean back and you're going to focus on breathing into your lower back for 3 breaths. Breathe into the lower back, almost let it expand. Breathe out and try and relax it off. 2 more. One more. And then open the legs wider, sit back deeper, and we do the same with the pelvic floor. So we breathe into it, let it expand, and out, release. 2 more. And coming out nice and slowly. And that is the end of the final trimester workout with me, Kate, sports therapist and pregnancy and postpartum specialist. I wish you the best of the luck with the next few weeks and your delivery and your postpartum journey, whatever that might entail. Everyone is different, and don't beat yourself up if your journey is different to what you expected. I will be publishing postpartum videos too, so keep an eye out for those. They should help you with the next steps. If you want one-to-one consultations, I'll put my email address at the end of the video too. Best of luck.